Asia Wilson had a great response to the idea that the WNBA should lower the rims. And Shaquille O'Neal should probably see it because he says it all the time. Every media appearance I've seen recently, Shaq has talked about the WNBA lowering the rims and it bringing in more fans. And according to a fan who responded to something I said on social media, Brianna Stewart has said something similar in the past. So let me give her credit for that as well. And Asia simply, she had Jalen Brunson speechless because it was on the roommate show that a couple of the Knicks players do together. When she was asked about it and she said, y'all realize that would mess up our shot, right? You lower the rim, you've practiced your whole life on a certain height and it would mess up your shot. I know using a slightly smaller ball messes up my shot. Shooting on a rim of a different height messes up my shot. Anything can throw off your mechanics when you're talking about something that precise. And there are a lot of great shooters in the WNBA, obviously. And then the whole idea that dunking would bring so much more attention. Who are the two biggest draws in basketball right now, ratings-wise? Steph Curry, Caitlin Clark. Neither are known for their dunking. Not to mention, people now say the three-point contest is more entertaining than the dunk contest. Here is what Asia Wilson had to say about the idea when she was on the podcast. And here were the full comments that I just paraphrased for you.
One that we hear all the time, which is obviously just dumb, is the lowering the rim discussion. So at that point, are you even when you hear that, are you even giving that any
I want that.
What is it going to do? You guys, honestly, if you want it, what is it really it's going to do for us?
It wouldn't do that much, but
okay, well then that could be my off season. I would much rather just gear my off season to Berta maxing it out. Let's get this. Let's focus on this jumping versus lowering it an inch. That could change all of our shots. Do y'all not understand that?
I mean, yeah, that's why it's never gonna happen. But it's just
I would much rather just okay, let's get in the gym. Let's work. You never know. Next year I might dunk. Jalen.
So there you go. And I don't know how you respond to that. I think Asia put it perfectly right there. And the WNBA has been growing, like crazy. People have been coming in like crazy to women's basketball, and none of it's because of dunking. And in fact, even on the men's side, again, who is known for their dunking right now that's a superstar? I can't think of anybody. That's maybe Anthony Edwards to a certain extent, but it's not even the dunking on the men's side that is drawing or garnering the attention per se. There was something else Asia said on the show that I don't necessarily agree with. She was asked about playing Josh Hart in a one-on-one, and here's her response to that.
Score would be 8-11. Me.
It's not happening.
I get ball first.
You get ball first.
She does get ball first.
Not gonna get it back. First. And but that's gonna be your time. That's gonna be your period, which is fine. I'm not saying I'm gonna go you're gonna go scoreless, but 8-11, I feel like it's pretty solid. So what do you think it'll be, Josh? Don't piss me off. Do not piss me off.
I was just about to violate this. I'm about to say,
right?
Man, probably 11-2.
You're sick. You're sick.
Nah, I'll say a good 11, probably 11-7.
Okay, that's fair. You got 7? Okay.
No. What you mean? What you mean? I got 7 what? I got 7 plus 4.
I'd pay to see that.
It would be 8-11.
Look, I would pay to see it too. And Asia is good enough where it's not a laughable proposition, right? It's not something you would say is unfair or you couldn't do or is a farce. However, I do believe I'm okay to say this. Now, there are biological differences between men and women. And that would, it always is going to make me favor the NBA player over the WNBA player just from a physical standpoint. I mean, because you think about Asia and you're thinking about a big in the WNBA. But what is Josh Hart, an inch shorter? than Asia Wilson. So there's not really a size difference there. And Josh Hart, if for those of you who don't follow the NBA, it's not like he's a star player or anything, but I have a stock line about him where if my life was on the line and I needed one player to get to a loose ball, I might choose Josh Hart. So his ability to just move and physical nature and take it outside and drive off the dribble. He's not like in the NBA, he's not a star at driving off the dribble, but I think in a one-on-one contest, he'd be able to do that plenty. I'd have to give him the edge. I'm sorry. I'd have to give him the edge. But again, it's something that would be worth putting on. Obviously, it's a joke conversation right there. But Asia Wilson had a really long appearance there. I covered the thing she said about the strenuous career, and I didn't agree with people dunking on her for that. I did agree with people dunking on the premise that she got an offer bigger than Caitlin Clark from Unrivaled, because that just seems farcical. I mean, the president of Unrivaled came out and said nothing would matter more for the league than Caitlin Clark being there, and we all know that Caitlin Clark is a bigger draw than Asia Wilson. I mean, I think deep down Asia Wilson has to know that. But I thought she was unfairly dunked on for her comments about the WNBA schedule or the transition, because it was taken out of context versus what she actually said. I think what she said about lowering the rims was brilliant, spot on, and she really nailed that one and makes a lot of sense. I mean, I don't know how you really refute that argument of it throwing off people's shots, which would certainly, I think, be the case. And as far as the one-on-one with Josh Hart, that's just a fun podcast discussion. But yeah, if I were betting, I would go with Hart in that equation for obvious reasons, and that's no disrespect to anybody. But man, I haven't seen Asia talk long form like that before. Her, unfortunately, I think those old viral comments about the privilege went, blew up, and I didn't think that was a great look for her. To say that to her teammate in front of cameras, even if she didn't know that, that was going to be public. But I haven't seen her speak like that long form really before on a podcast. Maybe I just haven't paid as much attention. But I did want to give her credit for the lowering the rims idea. And look, Asia Wilson's a hell of a basketball player. There is no one, if you're saying otherwise regarding that, you're a liar, right? Like, she's a hell of a basketball player. And she made a great basketball point about lowering the rims, because that is something that would throw off somebody's shot. So that was a shot across the bow for Shaq and others who have brought that logic to the table.